dreamers and decor lovers. Welcome to my channel, where we celebrate the magic of home. Today, I'm beyond thrilled to take you on a full tour of my dreamy red farmhouse, a haven of cottagecore charm, vintage elegance, and cozy warmth. If you love rustic details, floral prints, and spaces that tell a story, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a tour, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite farmhouse feature? The moment you arrive, the bold red exterior with crisp white trim feels like stepping into a fairy tale. Wrapped in climbing ivy and framed by wildflower gardens, this farmhouse whispers nostalgia. A vintage porch swing sways gently, inviting slow mornings with tea and a book. The reclaimed wood door, adorned with a hand-painted wreath, sets the tone for the warmth inside. Every detail, from the copper lanterns to the cobblestone path, was chosen to blend rustic charm with timeless elegance. 6. Step inside, and the entryway greets you with a mix of heirloom pieces and playful cottagecore touches. A distressed oak bench holds woven baskets for scarves and hats, while an antique mirror reflects sunlight from the transom window. The walls are lined with botanical prints and framed pressed flowers, a nod to slow living. Underfoot, a braided jute rug adds texture, proving that functional spaces can still be full of character. of the home is this sunlit living room, where every piece tells a story. A plush linen sofa piled with embroidered pillows faces a stone fireplace, the mantel styled with vintage books and taper candles. A chunky knit throw drapes over the armchair, begging for rainy day cuddles. The coffee table? A repurposed wooden trunk, its scratches adding to the charm. Soft lighting from milk glass lamps completes the snug, Storybook vibe 610. In the kitchen, open shelves display hand-thrown pottery and dried herbs, while a farmhouse sink sits under a window overlooking the garden. The butcher block counters bear the marks of homemade bread and jam sessions. A vintage chandelier dripping with crystal prisms casts a soft glow over the space, blending practicality with poetry. The real showstopper? A collection of antique rolling pins hung as art, because even everyday tools deserve to be beautiful. Tucked into a sunlit corner, the dining nook is a love letter to slow meals and laughter. A reclaimed pine table pairs with mismatched spindle chairs, each seat cushioned in floral linen. Overhead, a dried lavender wreath scents the air, while a mismatched china set waits for Sunday brunch. The gallery wall behind it showcases vintage botanical sketches, a reminder that beauty thrives in the imperfect and hand-picked 10. Every dream home needs a reading nook, and mine is a curl up and disappear kind of spot. A wingback chair draped in a quilt faces a window seat piled with cushions. A spinning bookcase holds well-loved novels, their pages dog-eared and coffee-stained. The piece de resistance? A stained glass lamp that paints rainbows across the walls at golden hour, proof that magic lives in the smallest corners. Upstairs, the bedroom is a sanctuary of soothing blues and creamy whites. A wrought iron bed wears a ruffled duvet and a heap of lace-trimmed pillows. The nightstands are vintage suitcases, and a Persian rug warms the wide plank floors. Sheer curtains flutter in the breeze, and a porcelain wash basin serves as a vanity, because who says functionality can't be pretty? The bathroom feels like a spa in a countryside inn. A clawfoot tub anchors the room, its feet polished to a shine. Open shelving holds apothecary jars of bath salts and bundles of eucalyptus. The mirror? An ornate gold frame salvaged from an estate sale. Even the towels are linen, because luxury is in the details. Pro tip: a vintage ladder makes the perfect towel rack. Outside, the garden is a riot of color and life. A picket fence lines raised beds of heirloom roses and trailing sweet peas. A wrought iron bistro set waits under a pear tree, and a birdbath doubles as a fairy garden. At dusk, string lights twinkle like fireflies, turning this space into an enchanted escape. Gardening isn't just a hobby, it's how I weave nature into my daily decor. 10. Step into my pantry, and you'll feel like you've traveled back in time. Glass jars filled with pasta, grains, and spices line the shelves, their labels handwritten in calligraphy. A rolling ladder helps me reach the top shelves, where baskets of fresh produce and dried flowers add a rustic touch. The centerpiece? An antique dough cabinet repurposed as a storage island, proof that even the most utilitarian spaces can be full of charm. Every time I open these doors, I'm inspired to bake something delicious. A farmhouse isn't complete without a mudroom that's both functional and beautiful. Peg rails hold straw hats and linen aprons, while woven baskets corral shoes and gardening tools. A vintage schoolhouse locker stores coats, and a chalkboard wall scribbled with seasonal reminders adds a playful touch. The best part? A deep farmhouse sink for rinsing freshly picked flowers or muddy boots. It's the little things that make country living so special. This sunroom is my favorite spot for slow mornings and golden hour reflections. Wicker chairs with floral cushions face a wall of windows, letting in streams of sunlight. A side table holds a stack of design books and a steaming cup of Earl Grey. Hanging plants trail from macrame hangers, and a vintage record player spins old jazz tunes. Whether it's raining or shining, this room feels like a hug from Mother Nature herself. The staircase isn't just a way upstairs, it's a storytelling space. Black and white family photos in mismatched frames climb the wall, alongside vintage botanical prints. The banister is draped with a garland of dried hydrangeas, and each step is painted a soft cream to let the wood grain peek through. At the top, a stained glass window casts colorful patterns on the landing, making every trip upstairs feel magical. Workspaces deserve beauty. My home office blends cottagecore charm with productivity. A salvage door serves as a desk, topped with a typewriter and a vase of fresh wildflowers. Open shelving displays beloved books, inkwells, and a collection of antique keys. The chair? A velvet upholstered heirloom piece that makes writing feel like a romantic pastime. Here, inspiration strikes daily, because creativity thrives in pretty places. I designed the guest room to feel like a boutique bed and breakfast. A wrought iron bed is dressed in crisp white linens and a handmade quilt, while a bedside carafe and teacup set add a thoughtful touch. A vintage luggage rack holds a woven suitcase, perfect for storing extra blankets, and a small writing desk invites journaling. The goal? To make every visitor feel like they've stepped into a countryside retreat. Who says laundry rooms have to be boring? Mine is a cheerful mix of vintage and modern. A retro washing machine sits beside an old wooden drying rack, while floating shelves hold lavender sachets and handmade soap. A framed embroidery hoop reads, "Laundry today or naked tomorrow," because a little humor makes chores better. Even folding clothes feels delightful in a space this pretty. The wraparound porch is where I sip lemonade and watch fireflies at dusk. A swing bed piled with pillows invites afternoon naps, while a farmhouse table hosts alfresco dinners. Lanterns flicker at night, and pots of geraniums add bursts of red to match the house. It's the perfect spot to slow down and savor the simple joys of country living. When the weather turns chilly, this corner becomes my sanctuary. A wingback chair draped in a sheepskin faces the crackling fire, with a stack of well-loved novels within reach. A copper kettle sits on the hearth, ready for tea, and the mantel is styled with pine cones and antique candlesticks. It's proof that the coziest spaces are often the smallest. My closet is a curated collection of timeless pieces, floral dresses, linen aprons, and well-loved boots. A freestanding wardrobe holds special occasion hats, while an old ladder displays scarves and belts. Woven baskets keep everything tidy, and a full-length mirror in a gilded frame adds a touch of glam. Getting dressed feels like stepping into a classic novel. Downstairs, the cellar is a treasure trove of preserves, wine, and seasonal decor. Stone walls and wooden crates give it an old-world charm, while twinkle lights make it feel whimsical. Shelves hold jars of homemade jam and bundles of dried herbs, because even storage spaces should spark joy. The attic is my escape for creativity and quiet. Under the eaves, a daybed piled with quilts is perfect for afternoon daydreams. Trunks hold fabric scraps for sewing projects, and a drafting table is set up for watercolor painting. It's a reminder that every home should have a space just for imagination. One of my favorite parts of farmhouse living is changing decor with the seasons. Spring brings fresh daffodils in milk glass vases, summer calls for gingham tablecloths, autumn means pumpkins on the porch, and winter is all about evergreen garlands. Each shift keeps the house feeling alive and connected to nature's rhythm. More than just a house, this farmhouse is a living story of slow mornings, laughter around the table, and the beauty of imperfection. Every scratch on the floor, every sun-faded quilt, holds a memory. It's proof that a home isn't made of perfect decor, but of love, intention, and the courage to create a space that feels authentically you. Thank you for touring my red farmhouse. I hope it inspired you to embrace cottagecore charm in your own space. If you loved this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more cozy home tours and decor tips. Now, tell me, what's the dreamiest corner of your home? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Until next time, Keep making magic wherever you are.